Welcome back to Zero to Fuel Tycoon, the series in which I'm going from zero ISK into becoming a known entity for fuel production in EVE Online. A lot has been going on this week. Maybe the biggest story is that we finally finalized the very large order we had up in Caldari space. The biggest individual order that we have ever shipped. And it was around 400k fuel blocks, and the final price ended up at 7 billion. So a while back when I let go of control and set up the head of operations for the different regions, we also created wallets for each of the regions. We have one for Amar, we have one for Caldari, and we have one for Galente. We haven't yet made the Minmatar one. And we had about 7 billion and put 2 billion into each of the different wallets for the head of operations to use as they see fit. And as of a couple of days ago, you can see that pretty much all of them have increased. The main wallet has gone up to 1.6 billion. This is mainly down to buybacks and selling some stuff. The Amar one is 80 million in the red, which I would say is technically because Amar has a lot to do. There's a lot of projects up, and there's a lot of ISK tied up in projects and in stockpile, so I think this number is actually a green one. And of course we also have the Caldari one, which has made a profit of 4.8 billion with the large sale, and Galente with about almost 600 million positive. So we made about 6 billion in a little under a month, which is good to see. We were a bit worried that we were big time in the red with the dropping fuel block prices, but so far it seems to be going quite well. But it's also time for us to distribute the profit sharing. So you can see here a list of all the people who have contributed fuel blocks. So this is fuel blocks specifically. And this is the profit sharing scheme where 70% of the profit goes back to the members and 30% goes to the corporation. So these will be paid out during the day, and we will be paying it through the main wallet. So we will take back 2 billion from the Caldari wallet that we initially seeded with, which puts the main wallet at 3.6 billion. We will then pay out 3 billion in the profit sharing. We will keep 500 million in the main wallet and deposit the rest, 145 million, into our rainy day fund, which we will use in case of a rainy day when we need it. So for the main wallet, we made about 650 million, which is not huge, but if we scale up the operations, I would be absolutely happy with that. And right now, it feels like the individual regions are self-sustaining and can function without injection from the main wallet. And eventually we'll see if we can get back the seed money from Amar and Galente as well. On top of this, we have continued the challenge, our moon challenge, where we're turning 500 million into 5 billion. And we've continued to do the mining operations. A lot of people have showed up. And this is what the progress looks like so far. From an initial starting point of 500 million, we're now an ISK balance of 1.1 billion. We have about 600 million in assets. And we have reactions coming out soon with a value of about 312 million. So this is progressing quite quickly, and I'm very happy with this initiative. And I'm gonna see if we can maybe start doubling down a bit on this as a corporation. We have been a bit starved ever since my GIV assets was decoupled from the value of the company. We haven't really had numbers to check on the progression, so it's been a bit, last few episodes has been more general. But now the wizards working in the background have started to give me some statistics and numbers, so we can see an overview of what we're actually doing in the corporation. And I just got a bit interested. There is this thing called the Pareto principle. I don't know if it's a scientifically proven thing, don't quote me on that, but there is this idea that a small minority produces the bulk in any given circumstance. So this would, for instance, be at your work. You would have people doing more of the work. And I just wanted to check that on the statistics that we have. So we can see here on the left axis would be the individual share of fuel blocks produced. And on the right axis is number of fuel blocks, or the cumulative. So the blue line is what we actually have in ARDCO. And the yellow line would be a Pareto distribution. So we don't actually have it yet, but I have a feeling that with time we might actually see this. And we have discussed this a bit, and it kind of makes sense, that the people who enjoy mining and production are going to do it more, whereas people who are not into that might help out sometime. And ice mining and PI is not the easiest thing to get into as a newbro, because you need Omega to do it. what we've seen so far is that the production becomes centered in a few people who make the bulk of their production. Again, makes total sense, and it's absolutely fine. Now, this chart is only for fuel blocks. It's not like other people are not contributing because we have the buybacks and everything. But we're gonna lean into this, like having the head of the different regions and other people handle most of the production. We're of course not gonna stop other people from helping out, of course not. But if there becomes like something we need to implement, we will favor the people who do the bulk of the production. Again, feels very natural. Now to talk a bit about the different regions. I think I'm gonna call it a bit of a failed project to set up the individual regions. I've been over this before and it's really hard to get them going individually. So we have the different offices and we have people in place, but it becomes a bit of a divide. And the individual regions become very isolated and it's hard to foster sort of a camaraderie between people because there's not just enough. The different head of regions have been really great at trying to organize stuff, but there's never enough people. And because we have many of the operations are down in Amar with the moon mining and stuff, we are going to pivot into more of a centralized organization. I'll preface this by saying that everything is voluntarily. If someone wants to stay in their region and don't want to centralize, that's absolutely fine. But what we'll try and do is to use the Galenta, Kaldari and Minmatar as our starting zone. So if you're getting into the game and you come across us and you join up, we'll encourage you to hang around in the starting offices a bit, get a feel for the game, do the tutorials and all of that, because we'll still have people in charge of each region. And what I mean by being in charge of the region is to make sure that any production needed will still be done and also that there is enough isotopes. But I'm going to encourage people to set up a jump clone down in Amar. That means that the people in the different smaller regions won't be as left alone and they can actually take part in the corporation a bit more and will be a bit more tight-knit, and I think it will help the community feel a bit. And it'll also help us with, say, the moon mining ops if we have more people on grid. And then we can do what we already did a little bit, or I should say Mikey did a little bit, where he set up an operation to go to Minmatar space to get the isotopes. So we can have a bit of cooperation between the head of operations, and they can, in my mind, I'm seeing like, okay, we're running low on a bit of these isotopes, so let's set up a operation in Minmatar space, and we'll hang out there for a few days and stock up on the different isotopes, and then we can ship some of them to the other areas. And in order to help out the head of operations, we have done a few promotions as well, where Cayman has become head of production in Amar. So this means, like, all of these three means that they're second in command to their head of operations. We have Carrie Ann Hendricks in Kaldari, also head of production. And we have promoted Atheist Ray to sergeant in Galente. So down the line, these people will be able to help out the head of operations with certain tasks, or people that newer people can ask if there's anything. And the reason why I've picked these three people is they've shown a very selfless way of playing. They're playing for other people, which I think is a good quality. Cayman has been producing almost since the start. Carrie Ann, a bit newer, but been the rock up in Kaldari, along with eagerness to help new people. And Atheist, same way, really enjoys teaching the new bros and our expert in exploration. So I'm feeling very good about these promotions. Now, member-wise, we're sitting at 154, or I should say character-wise. We're coming up on people hitting inactivity of a month, so I'll soon start doing a bit of a call. I'll send out some emails and just contact the people and to give them a chance, and they will, all, of course, always be welcome back. But I feel we're in a bit of a, I would almost say, contraction, which I think will be good for us. Because I have been doing a little bit of recruitment, but I've been a bit more selective, trying to actually figure out people who are more into mining and production, even though it's not mandatory. If I feel you have like a vibe that could fit with us, you're still welcome. But it's more of a making sure that you will actually enjoy being in the corporation. But yeah, I think we're contracting a little bit, centralizing a little bit, and we'll try and make it a bit more like one community, which I think will serve us well. I've been very happy with the new members that we got lately, because some of them are complete new bros, and it's really enjoyable seeing them discover the game, which I guess is what all of you saw when I started as well with the series, like a bit of a draw to the excitement about the game. But we had a few new bros who They're very brave and they signed up for the war that we're in. We did some defense of a structure down in Conid. And they had exact same experience as I did, the nervousness and excitement, even though nothing happened in the end again. And they have also taken part in the moon operations that we've been doing, which is quite an experience. The first time you see it, and I actually got to shoot the moon last time. Unfortunately, I have very bad graphics when I play, so I didn't really see anything, but you can see some of the images and videos I'm posting from the operation. And it's nice to see the ARDCO colors on grid. For me as a character lately, I've actually had a bit of time to trade, so I'm up to about 500 million in my wallet right now, which is unheard of for me. And I've maxed out my trading orders. So I've been doing a little bit of focus. Like I lost all of my implants because I lost all of my implants in my Jita clone because I didn't realize you couldn't take them out. This is a lesson learned. But I only plugged in, charisma and willpower again, and I'm gonna see if I can train up a lot of the trade skills. Maybe some of the social ones, because they use charisma and willpower, and just double down on that and finish them off. It's gonna take a while. But after I've done that, then from what I can tell, I won't need charisma and willpower as much. So then I can do my I have one more remap, so I can do the final one and push everything else into... I can push all the points into everything except for charisma, which should help with the training of everything else and get the corresponding implants, of course. Otherwise, I've been slipping more and more into mission running. So I recently got up to... I've been doing level 3s mainly in Minmatar space, and also I've been salvaging everything, so I'm building up a little bit of a salvage stockpile, because I have a feeling we're gonna need it at some point. So I think I'll soon hit level 4s, and I'll look to do maybe a Dominic's sentry gun fit for that, because from what I heard it's decent, and I want to try out sentry drones. So I might have to do a bit of skill training into that. Otherwise, I'm spending my days traveling all over between Jita and Amar, doing little things here and there, taking part in operations. We're working on some stuff in the background with the Plenitude Alliance, and I think I'm finding my role a little bit. It's becoming more, as Thor said back in the day, it's more about holding babies, shaking hands, that kind of thing. Being present and taking part in things. But yeah, that will be everything for this week. I hope you enjoyed getting a little bit of a look behind the scenes. It's great to see that so many of you are still following, and I'm a bit excited about having a bit of more of a progression back again in the series. But yeah, thank you all who have been subscribing and watching, and check out the homepage if you need some fuel blocks, and check out the Discord if you want to come in and bother me. Thank you again, and I'll see you again in the next one.